Devin Hester, you are ridiculous.
The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Shut up. See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans.
This is the Barely Qualified Podcast with your hosts, Nick Labris, Jason Maxwell, and Drew Bailey.
Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Barely Qualified. My name's Jason Maxwell. With me, as always, are Drew Bailey and Nick Labris. I think it's safe to say that was the game we were all looking for yesterday. The Bears absolutely mushed the Cleveland Browns in the freezing cold weather at Soldier Field. Final score of 31-3. All phases of the game honestly looked really easy. It was an easy, no-stress win. And just like that, the Bears are back on top of the NFC North. So sit back, relax, strap it down while we break down this glorious Bears win. We're going to take a look at the ever-evolving playoff picture in both the NFC and the AFC, discuss other big news around the NFL, and there was a lot of happenings this past week, and we'll wrap things up with another podium list. But first, before we do all that, I want to tell you a little bit about our friends over at Lola's Handcrafted Churros in downtown Lisle. Lola's offers up handcrafted churros from scratch, made to order, piping hot. It doesn't stop there. Lola's pairs these bad boys with ice cream sundaes. I'm talking about s'mores churro sundae, matcha fruity pebble, Nutella and strawberry. The list goes on. Get a sundae, get a dozen. Just stop in for one, but whatever you do, you're going to love it. They have coffee, horchata, freshly made churros, ice cream. As a wise man once said, what more could you want? So check them out at Lola, L-O-L-A, churros.com. Follow them on Insta and TikTok at Lola's Handcrafted Churros, and let us know how you like it. So let's get into it. Again, awesome performance by the Bears. Nick, if you wouldn't mind leading the charge in the Bears breakdown like you always do, I'll hand it over to you and we can get this thing started.
I would love to. Thank you for that. So I think, the big thing about this game coming into it, Drew and I talked about it at great length on Thursday. A little concerned about a letdown spot, a look ahead, whatever you want to call it, a game where you don't take this game seriously because you're preparing for your big rival battle for the top of the NFC North next week. And I think it's safe to say that, our fears of that were, put away pretty quickly. Bears go up 14-0 real quick. And just like that, game is pretty much over. And it was just a really nice feeling to be able to kind of kick back and watch a football game and relax and not have to all right, when are we going to get a turnover? When are we, when's Caleb going to flip the switch? All that stuff. It was just kind of hey, this is a good team. And they just dominated this game exactly the way they were supposed to. So that was honestly I think Drew and I even said it, I don't care how you win at this point in the season, just win games. This is exactly the kind of win I wanted, though. I would have taken a 10-3 win, a 6-3 win, whatever. But this is very satisfying to see. This is exactly what you're supposed to do to bad teams if you are a team that, considers yourself a playoff team or someone who's fighting for a playoff spot. So, again, 31-3. It's a 28-point win for the Bears, back in first place, as Jay said. And with all the shuffling and things going on in the NFL this week, the Bears have jumped from the 7 seed to the 2 seed. A little bit of a weird ride the last couple of weeks, boys.
Been a ping pong game.
Yeah, exactly.
Just toying with my emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it has. But again, we're at number 2. Then right now we have a half game lead on the Packers going into the game next week. So the cool thing about that is, one, you win the game against the Packers, you really distance yourself. We'll talk about the Packers in a little bit. And then the other thing, obviously, if you lose to the Packers, as much as that would really break my heart, you still are not completely out of it. So big win for the Bears, and some things went our way also later in the day, which we'll touch on later. But I don't think you can talk about this Bears-Browns game without going at length about just how miserably cold it was outside. I don't know about you guys. I did not leave my house once on Sunday. That's not true. I went to get a pizza for myself for lunch. But besides that, I did not leave my house. Too cold, miserable. I don't know. Did you guys venture outside at all on Sunday?
Yeah, yes, I took the girls swimming at 9:30. They got the swimming lessons, and I mean, there was not a lot of people there, rightfully so. I mean, it was damn cold. And then took them to religious ed in CCD after that, and then went to the store. So we were outside a good amount before kickoff. Ill-advised because it was just absolutely freezing, and the girls were like, "It's really cold." I was like, "I'm so sorry," but yeah. Parent of the Year award, go outside for a considerable amount of cold.
What about you, Drew? Did you get outside at all on Sunday?
We actually went to
you had your golf thing or your thing, right?
We had the Santa brunch. And Nathan's first outing, that was interesting. It was fun. He slept the entire time. And there was no Bears game to be found other than on my phone. But my brother-in-law actually went to the game yesterday. He has a friend who is I don't know what his relation is. He has some sort of relation to the owners of the Browns.
Okay.
And so they got tickets, and he went, and he even asked me, he was like, if I could get you one, would you go? And I was like, no, absolutely
not. No way.
Don't even worry about it. You don't even have to ask. But yeah, he came over to our house, and he was just talking about how just like they ran out of food really quickly. They ran out of drinks really quickly. Like there was nothing, no extra stock, just crazy.
Ugh. Yeah. Oh man. I mean, how much would you guys have to have been paid? I mean, because I assume none of us. I mean, you turned away seemingly free tickets, maybe. Yeah,
that probably.
Yeah,
been, yeah.
Right. I mean, what would you have to get paid to sit through an entire football game with the commute, the back and forth?
Yeah.
What's the dollar amount? If someone's like, "You listen, you got to go to this game, but I'll give you $500. Are you going?"
I'm going to that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I think I said it in the chat when Nick said, hey, 100 level tickets are like only $100. You pay for my alcohol and my ticket. I'm there. But,
there you go.
I'm an easy gal to please.
I also think that like part of the charm of being a Bears fan is you have these like war stories of going to these like miserable games, Yeah. Like my cousin was at the game, the Paul Edinger field goal win game, like back in whatever year that was.
Yes.
He was at that game, and that's like, it's just like a fun, he can say that he was there. It was a very cold, windy day that day. I don't know. I think that there's something cool about going to that, especially, considering the plan is, as far as I know, to be in a dome in the next 5-6 years. I don't know exactly if that's happening because who knows? They haven't broken ground on anything yet, but that's the plan, it seems like. And, after that, you're not going to have these stories anymore. It'll all just be, temperature controlled and all that stuff. So I think going to this game would have been fun for the story. It would have been miserable to be there for sure. It would have sucked. And I would have probably, promptly left at halftime if I got that long.
Yeah.
But, especially with the way this game script went, they're kind of killing them. No reason to stay. But I do think it would have been fun to go just to kind of, and I was browsing tickets partially to see how cheap they were and to kind of point it out, but partially because if I get tickets for like $50 in like the 100 or 200 level, I was thinking about going. So I didn't, but anyway, I would have went. It would have been fun, but also miserable and a horrible day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of.
Yeah.
Both?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But after seeing, like I just mentioned it, just like seeing fans, like hearing about, your brother-in-law, Drew, saying they ran out of food and drinks and stuff. I imagine a lot of drinks probably froze over. There's nowhere really to put them. That's, like room control, like room temperature. Is this kind of, I mean, like, I know bear weather is a big thing, but do you guys want this to be a dome where like it's completely controlled all the time? Or do you guys go with outside? Like, what do you guys think? I think it's a big debate right now.
It is the big debate. I mean, I'm not going to go to a football game regardless, so I could. It's not like dome, no dome. The dome's not going to like get me out of my red zone chamber that's in my house. So sorry, I'm not going to any football games. that being said, I love it being outside. I love just like the extra layer of, hey, when it's that cold, I mean, the Bears could potentially have an advantage in that, and it's fun, and the stories are what they are. So, I mean, I get the other side, I get the business angle, but I don't care about the business angle. I'm not profiting from it. So who the fuck cares?
Exactly.
I feel like that's like the most asshole-ish kind of, not asshole-ish is a strong word, but just like I'm overly educated. Like, why are you siding with the owners? Why, like that? Why? Who cares?
It's actually a real business generator for the village of Arlington Heights. So,
okay. I don't care. Me football, want football. Like, that's me team win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play this game in the fucking moon. I don't care. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it outside, just not on Lakeshore Drive. That is just an absolute. I hate commuting to Soldier Field.
Yeah, my biggest gripe on like the Bears' current playing situation isn't necessarily that it's outside, because you'll get like 3 games a year where it's pretty cold. This is an extreme example. For the most part, the weather is going to be fine at Soldier Field. You're talking about September, October, November, like you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But my biggest gripe has always been the parking or lack thereof parking at Soldier Field. You either got to pay like $300 to park within a reasonable walking distance, or park like 3 miles away, walk through underground tunnels and things to get to the stadium for miles. And it's just the idea of going to a football game and like tailgating and all that stuff, like you're so segmented in at Soldier Field. Like there's like 8 parking lots that can hold like 30 cars that tailgate. Like I remember when I was a kid, me and my dad went to a game, and we tailgated at one of the lots at McCormick Place. It was really cool, but there was only like 30 cars there. And you go to like compare that to like going to like a Brewers game up in Miller Park, and it's just like like there's 20,000 cars all just tailgating, and that's kind of what you want, right? Like everyone together at once. It's just that's what I don't know. So if we can get that at the new stadium, I don't care if it's indoor or outdoor. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Agreed.
But to echo Jason's point, I'll probably go to like 3 games, maybe. Like I'm not like watching football on your couch on Sundays is just the best. If you get like a primetime game, you get tickets to like a Sunday night or a Monday night game, I might be more interested. But like watching all the games on Sunday happen at the same time while you're sweating your bets and checking your fantasy scores, it's just like that's the best. So
it is, man. It is.
Yeah, not more likely to try to invest in season tickets wherever it is. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough weather talk. I think cold game didn't really have an impact on the Bears, at least, I mean, statistically and the way the game went, especially Caleb. I mean, this game, again, we talked about at the top, this game went about as good as we could have possibly imagined it would go. It was a little nerve-wracking at the very beginning, right? It looks like they squandered a really good kick return from Devin Duvernay to start the game, go 3 and out. Then punt god, Jay's favorite guy, Torrey Taylor, drops a punt inside the 5. They down it at the 1. Browns go 3 and out. Bears get the ball back. They score, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Yeah, I mean, we'll dive into the stats and stuff in a second, but before we do that, just overall, I thought this was the cleanest game Caleb has played as a Bear so far. Maybe the Cowboys game, I have to look at the stats next to each other, but I also feel like in that game there were some moments where it seemed kind of nervous. And I remember there was that big Tyreek Stevenson fumble recovery that kind of swung the momentum, where in this game it just felt like outside of that initial 3 and out, which by the way, they had a first down on that screen pass to Manungai that got dropped. So that wasn't, you can't even put the 3 and out on Caleb. Outside of that three and out at the start of the game, offense just kind of did whatever they needed to do. As soon, they got up to a lead, and then they just kind of coasted the rest of the way out. So I don't know, like I'll kick it around to you guys. Like that was a good game from Caleb. How you guys like overall feeling about Caleb Williams right after watching this game on Sunday? Drew, what do you think?
Yeah, I was, as I alluded to, I didn't get to watch a lot of the ins and outs. I mean, we didn't go to breakfast or to the brunch until about 1 o'clock. So I saw the first drive or first couple of drives. And what Jay had in the breakdown here is it started off scary. because once again, it felt like it was a game we were calling for it, Nick, and we had called for it in the past of let's get the run game established. And that seemed like it was once again not going to start that way. Punt goes out, but then game settled down. It was the Browns after all. Run game got established, and then Caleb started doing some great things with the ball. And in the highlights that I saw, it just looked like he felt, which seems weird, felt comfortable in the cold, felt comfortable rolling out, wasn't getting too much pressure, although Myles Garrett did have a sack and a half, I think.
Yeah.
Just felt like he was in control, and that's what we want out of Caleb. Some spectacular throws. I'm very happy to see that, but most of all, too, like with the way that he answered at the end of the game when he was in his press conference, and somebody asked him about the throw, he just, yeah, I can make any throw, man. That's it. Like I can make it. Okay, awesome. Yep. That's what I want my quarterback to be saying. Yep. And of course, it's easy to say after a 31-3 win, but I do want him saying that and feeling very confident in his game. And it feels like right now we are at the peak of what Caleb has felt comfortable in his game in this season.
Yeah,
Drew, I think that's like perfectly said. I share the same sentiment, and I'm sure a lot of Bears fans feel the same. I think just like from this strictly the eye test, I didn't rewatch any of the game. I didn't really rewatch any of the condensed highlights other than that DJ pass, because that was insane. I don't know if you saw the angle from the back of the end zone of that pass coming. Yeah. It reminded me of the 49ers, the catch, and honestly, I was like, can't even fathom how that got through. But besides the point, on Caleb's overall performance, and Nick, to your kind of to your question as well, it's like I think this was Caleb's best game in a Bears uniform, and that's going up against the Jags one. And stats be damned, maybe he didn't throw for the most yards or the most touchdowns, but he looked like a veteran quarterback out there, like that knew what they were doing. It was Drew. Your word was perfect. He was in control, and guess what? He was accurate as hell too. I mean, and again, this is not a look at the stat sheet. He might have had better stats in other games. There were some drops, there were some other things, but like he was just completely comfortable and in control. And it looked just put together. And we've been kind of asking for that. Can we just get that game where Caleb's just flowing and he's escaping, but he's still accurate and he's making the right calls and he's making the right checkdowns, and he did it. And so like this was awesome to see. And this is this is a Browns defense that isn't like, I know the Browns suck. Right. Their offense sucks. Their defense does not suck. So this was great to see.
Yeah, I think the most exciting thing about Caleb's game is that, we know that he can do the escape artist thing. We know that he can throw on the run. We know that he can create with his legs. It felt like this game, no matter if he was just, hitting that fifth step and launched and throwing it on time, or if he had to scramble a little bit, it didn't matter. He was going to throw to the right guy at the right time, make a pretty accurate throw, put it on the guy. So I think that was exciting because, there have been a lot of games where if he's out of the pocket, kind of playing off schedule, he's really good. Kind of like that backyard football type thing, recess football thing. But when he has to actually drop back in the pocket, hit his first read, put his foot in the ground and throw it, it's a little clunky, doesn't really work very good, but it all looked good on Sunday. And again, Jay, to echo your thoughts, Browns are a bad team, but the Cleveland Browns defense is not a bad unit. So you can't just say like, well, it was against the Browns. I mean, this is the team that held the Packers at 10 points earlier this year, 13 points earlier this year. They're a good team. So, it was a very positive day for us, like Bears fans, Caleb defenders, all that stuff. Cause I think that he really looked like, a possible glimpse into the future of what Caleb's going to be, hopefully for a long time. So it was really exciting to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hell of a good rebound game too, after the Packers game last week. Right. Yep. When he started like 1 for 7 or something, it was like, what's going on? Yeah. And it's like, okay, hey, it's football. It's week to week. Great quarterbacks can have bad weeks. And Caleb looked great this week. So fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of the, obviously passing game, Caleb did his part, the receivers, Roma Dunze, that's back-to-back weeks the Bears have had a player get re-injured during warm-ups. That's a bit of a concern. Need to figure out if that warm-up needs to be dialed back a little bit or what's going on there.
Seriously.
That doesn't happen often. In fact, I was watching I literally watched like the last 10 minutes of the, Fox NFL Sunday pregame with like Terry Bradshaw and all those guys. And like literally 5 minutes before kickoff, Jay Glazer came on and did his like in and out segment. And he's like, Roma Dunze is active. He's going to play with a foot injury. Like no questionable tags whatsoever, no game time decision, nothing. He was literally like active and in. And then I got an alert on my phone from like Sleeper saying Roma Dunze is active but not playing this week. Like, oh God, what happened?
Yeah.
And then they had to like announce it like between the national anthem and the kickoff on the broadcast. That was what was going on, which sucks. But God, you hope he's okay. Hope he gets back soon. I don't know if I haven't really seen any updates. I haven't really checked, but hopefully he is good to go moving forward.
I would hope that it's more than what Kyler Gordon was just more of a cold situation mixed in with this is a team you can beat without him. So just get healthy, get it recovered. But that's
the fact that they made him active and then he didn't play in the game with an injury makes me nervous, because if it was that case, they just would have deactivated him for the game. I know it was like literally like 5 minutes before the game kicked off, and that's probably has something to do with it too, because I think they have to make the active, non-active like 90 minutes ahead of the game or something like that. But yeah, it is concerning. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't have any updates right now, but I think long term, I think he'll be okay. We'll see though. But one receiver goes down, somebody has to step up. And that's what we see out of DJ Moore. We were talking about him, Drew. DJ Moore stepped up, and he was kind of the go-to guy in this game. 4 catches, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns. So welcome back to the offense, DJ Moore. It was good to see you. I saw in the post-game interview, the post-game Ben Johnson thing that and it makes sense because he's been on some bad teams. This is the first team he's been on that has 10 wins. So that was cool to see that DJ finally is on like a good team, because he's been on so many Panthers and Bears, like just bad teams.
Yeah.
Just the worst of the
real.
worst.
And you mentioned his post game, Nick, because he even said to the team, he was like, "About damn time, man!" Like, yeah. Like he knew it was there. He knew it was coming. That's nice to say. That's nice to hear. DJ, I know we were talking about in the preview, like at times he just gets silent and it seems like his emotions are just not there. Clearly that means they are there. He wants to win. He's frustrated with himself a little bit. And that was good. That was really, really good.
Yeah. And I got the vibe when he was talking, and granted, I'm just seeing the videos. I don't know for sure, but I got the vibe that he was more, like you said, frustrated more with himself than like he's not like frustrated with the offense or Caleb or the team. He just seems like he's more frustrated with himself. So he's all smiles. So that's good to see. Hopefully that keeps going, because I mean, look, we're going to talk about Luther Bird in a second. If he misses any time, we're going to need DJ Moore to step up and be a big part of this offense. You can't rely on Olamide Zaccheaus and Devin Duvernay to be your wide receivers. You got to have some of these guys step up. And DJ is a guy that's obviously capable. He's being paid like a number one receiver. He can be a number one receiver. So love to see him step up this game, and hopefully he can see more of that the rest down the stretch of the season. But speaking of Luther Burden, like I mentioned, Luther Burden. This may have been his best game as a Bear too. I know he's had flashier plays. It just felt like every time he got the ball, it was going to take 2 or 3, maybe 4 Cleveland Browns to get him down. I love the way that he plays the position. I love the way that he seeks contact, and I love the way that he makes them work to tackle him. Everything about his game, I absolutely love. Jay, you wrote down here possible wide receiver 1 of the future. Like, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
And he can. I mean, I know it's in the Ben Johnson system, and it's notorious for creating space, but he can make some space when he's running his routes too. And after he's got the ball in his hand, he can shake and bake and get you those yards. So it's fantastic to see.
Yeah, that might be like a lot of people were saying this at the time, so it's not like this is any shocking like breaking news or anything, but like we might look back on him falling to the second round of the draft and think like, what when the world was going on. I can't think of the receivers that were taken ahead of him, but he was like the fourth receiver off the board. I want to say Matthew Golden obviously was taken ahead of him.
Yeah,
was one. But yeah, like you look at, and his stats obviously aren't there because he's got DJ Moore, he's got Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet, and then Colson Loveland, who's kind of came on lately as well. So there's a lot of people in the room, but just like you watch his tape with when he gets the ball in his hand, he's electric, and I'm just looking forward to seeing more and more and more of Luther Burden.
Yeah, ditto. And I mean that was a huge step up too with Rome being out. You know that DJ and Luther really did step up, and it honestly, it was like they didn't miss a beat. You couldn't even tell that Rome wasn't even suiting up in that offense. So it's great.
Yes, that is great. Unfortunately, and this must have happened after I stopped watching the game and turned on Red Zone because I didn't even know this happened until, this morning. But ankle injury in that game for Luther Burden. You know, per our insider Eric, who's in the chat right now, he's telling us that it's going to be a day-to-day injury. Hopefully that's trending the right way and he's able to go. Because like I said, it sounds like Rome is going to be out again per Eric. He's going to be out week to week. So you're probably not going to have Rome this week. And without Rome, you're going to need Luther Burden out there. Otherwise, like I said, you're relying on some guys who, Olamide Zacchaeus has had a nice year for his role. Devin Duvernay, I'm pretty sure, has just a one catch in the Packers game on the season, maybe two catches on the season. Besides that, I don't even know how far down your depth chart goes. You have that receiver that made the team out of from preseason, whose name is Walker, Jade Walker. Remember Jade Walker?
Yeah.
So, would like to see Luther Burden play in this game. Kind of a big game, and I want to see Luther Burden out there, but also need to make sure he's healthy. So. Makes me a little nervous.
No, that makes me nervous too. I mean, if Burden can't go, that's a huge. I mean, we need one of we want everyone. We need at least 2 of 3 of DJ, Rome, and Luther on the field, or else that's no bueno.
Yes, agreed. The one thing that gives you a little bit of optimism, if we were not to have Luther Burden and no Rome Odunze, is that I think that the tight ends are really ready to like step up and be primary pass catchers, right? I mean, you look at the stats. I mean, Loveland had 4 catches for 63 yards, which is pretty good. Komet only had 2 catches for 28 yards, but we know Komet can do it. Also, just want to shout out Colson Loveland. Like the first 7 weeks of the season, it seemed kind of like a bust. Not a bust pick, but like his entire career is going to be compared to Warren, right? And Tyler Warren of the Colts. And Tyler Warren was like the number 1 guy in Indianapolis for the first 7 weeks of the season. He seems to have kind of cooled off. Colson Loveland since then has kind of turned it on, and he is one of the primary targets. It seems like he's the primary like third down target for Caleb. Definitely that like mid-range guy, which is exactly what I thought they were going to get when they drafted Colson Loveland. So seeing him kind of emerge as a top option for Caleb is definitely also giving me, I'm very excited about that. I love everything he does as well. Also, not to just, I know we're talking about pass catching right now. He had a chip block on Myles Garrett that absolutely pancaked him. And it was one of the, this is a tight end. He's supposed to be like a finesse receiving tight end. And he just absolutely put the best defensive player in the league this season on his ass, which is awesome. I love that. So I am big on Colson Loveland right now.
He can run a route, man. I mean, when he sticks his foot in the ground and hits a cut, for being that big, not that he's a clunky, he's a leaner guy, but he can run a route, and cross up some secondary people. And I feel confident, even more than Cole, like he can, a linebacker on him, he's going to burn him every time.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was definitely some of the upside, right? We knew he was a matchup nightmare. He's too big for any corner or safety to cover, and he's too fast for any linebacker to cover. So he's definitely like that matchup nightmare you want from a tight end. And now that he's kind of got the offense under his belt, it seems like he's kind of been unleashed. And it's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's averaging like 50 yards a game for the last like 5-6 games, because every game he's got, 50, 45, 63, 75. Like he's kind of all over, like anywhere from that like 50 to 75 yard mark for the past 5 games, which is awesome to see. And he's a red zone target, which also, again, tight end, that's definitely good to have. So Kmet, obviously he's still there and he's still good. He's kind of got a more defined role, whereas I think Kmet is kind of that matchup nightmare. Throw him anywhere and he'll be able to, produce for you. So obviously, like you said, Jay, we want to get, best case scenario, we get all 3 of the receivers plus the 2 tight ends. If we miss 2 of the receivers, I think you're going to see a big Colson Loveland game, big Cole Kmet game on Sunday, or on Saturday, I should say. But we can talk about that more on Thursday. The other big thing, the Bears offense, just a super clean offensive game all around. No turnovers. Again, this Bears offense, say what you will about them, they are incredibly good at not turning the ball over. I'm not looking at their net turnover gained or whatever. But they haven't turned the ball over very much this season. Caleb only has 6 interceptions on the season, I think, something like that. So
6 interceptions,
21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Pretty good season for him so far. There's not really a lot of fumbles on the Bears either. Like it's just, they're just hold on to the ball. And that's just something that like is ingrained in you from coaching. Just, ball security is something that the coaching staff must really be harping on, especially earlier in the season. So love to see that keep going on, because, nothing makes your offense like look bad and puts your defense in a worse spot than turnovers. Like turnovers are the worst place. So being able to rely on the offense and not turn the ball over is a huge step in the right direction for the Bears offense this season.
Yeah, one stat too that I just came across right before the show. Caleb Williams has set the record for least interceptions thrown through the first 1,000 pass attempts. I thought that was a cool stat. I mean, that just kind of shows that he does not turn the ball over much. And that's, for all the nitpicky things that people want to say about Caleb, I mean, that's how you can stay competitive in football games and win football games, not turn the ball over. So cool, obscure stat, but a fun one to throw out there.
Yeah, I saw that a few times in the past 24 hours, and that is a cool stat. You don't see Bears quarterbacks leading like good quarterback stats very often.
Yeah, that's true.
Like never happens. So, and it was cool to see when they play the Browns, it's cool to see a team that has had worse luck at quarterbacks than the Bears in the last 25 years. Cause I think it's literally just them, but it is good to see that like they've had I think almost 40 quarterbacks start or something like that in the past 20 years.
Yeah. You see the graphic during the game. They had because the Bears are second worst at that, or have had the second most quarterbacks. Yeah,
but it was pretty considerably higher than the Bears.
No, it was a lot higher. It's a lot higher.
It was like the Bears were 66% of where the Browns are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fun to see. But yeah, I love that stat. Caleb does a really good job of not turning the ball over, and that's a good thing. So if we can just keep that and just build on everything else, then I think he's going to be really good. And he is right now, by the way. He is building on that. So that's not even like a hypothetical. This is the part of the show where we shout out the O-line, which is becoming a regular segment, which I love. I'm a huge fan of shouting out this offensive line. I'm happy to do it whenever I can. You give up 3 sacks. Yeah, it's going to happen. Myles Garrett is, like I said, the best defensive player in the NFL right now. He got a sack and a half. He's very good. So 3 sacks, but you look at the run game, I mean, it was cold out there and they still put up a pretty decent run game today. I saw a clip of Jonah Jackson on a trap, just absolutely pancaking the defensive tackle, like the 3 technique for the Browns. It was one of the, it's like, that is such a hard block to pancake somebody on, because as a guard trapping, you're only traveling, you're basically pulling and you're going over 2 gaps. So you're pulling maybe 5 feet. That's as far as you're going. You're not a lot of times the guard will pull and he'll wrap all the way around and do a kick out, or he'll lead up to a linebacker. This is a trap. So he's literally opening up and he's going 3 steps to hit his defensive lineman. So to get the leverage and the inertia to absolutely pancake somebody from like 3 or 4 steps, it's unbelievable technique and everything. So just shout out Jonah Jackson. That was such a sweet play.
Ben Johnson said he touches himself when he thinks about that block. No, he didn't say that exactly, but he mentioned it. He was like, those are what dreams are made of. But those blocks, I
think he did say that he went to sleep thinking about that play. So
yes,
it wasn't that far off.
So maybe he did.
Yeah, maybe he just wasn't telling us the whole story.
Yeah, exactly. Control the narrative. And Caleb Williams called the offensive line the Avengers.
Love it.
Which love it. Like he has high praise for this group, and especially, when you're not getting sacked 66 times in a season, it's great. He's still been sacked a decent amount, 26 times, but these guys have changed the game for us. Changed the game.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Caleb knows now that he knows what bad offensive line looks like, and he knows, that this isn't that. So I think that's cool because last year was such a joke on the offensive line. So to see the degree, like the change from last year to this year is just kind of, I know a lot of people don't love doing this, but you do have to give Ryan Poles a lot of credit for rebuilding this offensive line. We've said it in the past. The draft picks are showing up. They're playing out of their mind. Like we've talked about, Luther Burden. We talked about Colson Loveland. Ozzie Trapillo today Sunday. He had a matchup against Myles Garrett, and Myles Garrett did have a sack, like 1.5 sacks, but a rookie left tackle on Myles Garrett. Sure, there was chipping and help and stuff like that, but 1.5 sacks against a rookie who, for the most part, held his own. I mean, you'll take that. You'll absolutely take that at left tackle for your rookie. So this offensive line is really starting to mesh, or not starting. It's been going on for the past 2 months, but they're really meshing really well. Honestly, ever since Ozzie came in here, I feel like the offensive line has just really been mauling people. And even if you want to go back a little further, really it's just when Braxton Jones came out of the game. Let's be honest. That's when this offensive line really
is. It really is.
Like honestly,
it was always Braxton.
I'm pretty sure if you look at because the Bears the first 4 games of the season couldn't run the ball, and then that Raiders game Braxton gets sit down, and I'm pretty sure if you look at Braxton Jones playing time and you compare it to the Bears running game, I'm pretty sure the line graphs are just you couldn't see because they're just mirrors of each other. It's exactly the same. Or inverse, I guess.
It's like a hockey plus minus.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very minus.
Yeah. So. We talked, Trapillo, he did a really good job in the pass game. The run game, like I mentioned, they had a nice day. DeAndre Swift, by the way, DJ Moore's getting a lot of credit. Caleb's getting a lot of credit. O-line's getting a lot of credit. DeAndre Swift had a very nice game on Sunday. And we want to make sure that we call out DeAndre Swift as well because, averaging over 5 yards a carry again, almost 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift he's a guy that, a lot of people, including us, were not very happy with the beginning of the season. We had a whole segment talking around the trade deadline of which of these running backs should we trade for because our DeAndre Swift ain't it. And lo and behold, he's it. He's fine. And we thought we were gonna get a big Monungai game, and he was fine, and he got 11 carries. But this is DeAndre Swift. His backfield until further notice. This is DeAndre Swift's backfield.
Yeah. Nick, I mean, you spot on. I think that obviously we were saying that, and a lot of people in Chicago were saying the same thing. And I don't know if it's just because the offensive line has gotten considerably better, and they have, right? Maybe it's the Braxton Jones effect, like we were talking about, and just time. But I also think that we got to give some credit to the coaching staff and the running backs coach and whatnot, because why is his name escaping me?
Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, Bieniemy. Thanks. Because Swift's running approach between the tackles seems to have gotten just hit the hole harder, right? And even with the blocking being better, I am pretty sure that they've actually just have a coaching staff that's able to improve the players as the season goes along. And I think you can kind of notice that change in running style in Swift of just stop kind of just dancing around and waiting for the hole to open up, just hit it harder. And good Lord, he's just been fantastic.
Yeah, there was a play where he was just a simple off tackle play. He broke past the line of scrimmage. He was probably going to gain like 3 or 4 yards. Saw there was a linebacker there bearing down on him. He wasn't going to outrun the sideline. He wasn't going to be able to cut back. He just dropped his shoulder and dove at the dude's legs and gained an extra like 2 or 3 yards. And that's like the kind of tough running you're going to need. Like there's a time to change directions and do all that fun stuff. But if it's not there, you're going to do more harm than good doing that stuff. So just get what you can and go down. And I don't know. I'm a big fan of the way DeAndre Swift is playing right now. And I think the team loves him, obviously. Like this team just feels like it's such a cohesive unit right now. It really does. Even with the Packers loss last week, it just felt like it would have been easy for them to come out flat in this game. It's cold. They lost to the Packers. It's a game that against a shitty team. And they just came out and they just were very physical and they dominated them, which is honestly very awesome to see. So very happy with the way this offense came out and played. Special shout out to Devin Duvernay as well. 2 returns, 52 yards and 30 yards. He had, and he also averaged 15 yards per punt return, just flipping field position all day long. My old football coach used to always say, if you can get 10 yards on a kick return, then you're doing something right. You're giving the offense 1 extra first down. Basically, that was always our goal, was 10 yards on kick return, punt return, or punt return specifically. So averaging 15 yards, that's pretty good. And then, the big returns, even though the first one didn't lead to any points directly, it flipped the field, pin the Browns deep. It's exactly what you want to do. If you're going to go 3 and out on offense, pin them deep, get the ball back, score a touchdown. And that's exactly what happened. So just really the entire offensive unit and the special teams right there really delivered in every way with the ball in their hands. But not only did the Bears offense deliver, I thought the defense had a pretty nice game as well. Not that now this was a little bit more expected because the Browns offense is bad. And I don't think anyone was expecting, I know Shadur looked a little bit better last week, but they were playing the Titans. And the weather was a little bit more bearable. I don't think anybody was expecting the Browns to light the scoreboard up this game, but 3 points in a game. This is still an NFL team you're playing against. That's a pretty damn good effort. 0 points in the first half. Pretty good effort. The Browns had the ball 5 times in the first half. 4 of them, 80% of the time, was a 3 and out, which is crazy. 1 first down given up in the entire first half. Bears defense came to play, and they absolutely dominated the Browns.
They really did. And it was nice to see the Bears defense dominate a game.
Yeah.
That's something we haven't seen really all year, unless I'm forgetting something. But absolute domination. It was great to see that.
It really was.
We've been asking for it. Just step on the throat of a team. Be nice if it was a team that's in contention, but a team that you should beat nonetheless, and you don't have to play a close game, and it comes down to the final field goal on either side. That's very comfortable. And at this point in the season, it's nice to see we've developed into a team of the teams that you should beat. You're going to beat handily. There's not a trap right now. We talked about it. So yeah, it was nice to tune in again. Sorry, I was watching back and forth, but it was nice to tune in every 5 to 10 minutes and see that the score just kept going up for the Bears and the Browns were doing nothing.
Honestly, like I said, around probably the middle of the third quarter is when I flipped over to Red Zone and would kind of periodically check in on the Bears game, because this game wasn't on Red Zone a ton in the second half because the Bears they were done scoring by then for the most part. I saw a couple touchdowns, but yeah, it's just nice. We've only had the only other game we had like this was really the Cowboys game earlier in the season where this game is comfortable. Even then, it was still a 2-possession game, kind of late. This was just a no doubter.
Yeah,
you're 10 minutes into the game. This one's over. Just, don't let anything bad happen and we're good. So, yeah, we don't see a lot of these games. And it's nice because God knows the Bears have played enough of these bad teams where they should have been in this position many times. But to get to this point now where they're actually like, okay, Bears are a good team. They're playing a bad team. They beat them 31-3. It's exactly, just like she wrote, beat the team, absolutely dominate them, move on to next week. And that's good to see because it was not that long ago we were kicking game-winning field goals against, or blocking game-winning field goals against the Raiders, or scoring a touchdown with like a minute left against the Giants, and all these like bad games. So to just dominate this team is very exciting. And in retrospect, should have bet 7.5. Should have done the 7.5, guys. We were very scared about 7.5, and we did not. So, but anyway, yeah, it was just, the stat. I mean, Shadur Sanders, quarterback of the Browns, not a good day for him. Browns as a whole had under 200 yards of offense. And honestly, like more than a quarter of those came in the last drive of the game when the score was already 31-3. So really the Bears, I mean, pretty much like up until that last drive, they had under 150 yards of offense in the entire game, which is a pretty incredible defensive effort. They also,
I gotta say, the one thing that just kind of defines the Cleveland Browns for me was the Jalen Johnson interception that against Jerry Jeudy, where it just looked like Jerry Jeudy didn't want to catch the ball.
You take
right
it,
in his
fine.
hands, and it just dropped. And I mean, Jalen running out of the back of the end zone was just kind of like, okay, like I guess
I didn't know what was going on. When we seen that play, I don't know what's happening.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, what is going? Like, what the hell? Who has the ball? Where's the ball?
Yep.
That was definitely like a very nice encapsulation of the Browns season this year. It's like, hey, things are okay, and then they're just not. So, hot potato game at the end over there. But it wasn't just that. C.J. Gardner-Johnson had a nice interception. It wasn't a great throw by Shadur, but he still got there and made a nice pick. And then the linebacker, was it DeMario Jackson, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
DeMarco Jackson, apologies.
Yeah.
Also had a nice pick earlier in the game. So, 3 more turnovers for the Bears, 0 given away. Just keep going, keep increasing that. Also, not to mention, I'm pretty sure the Bears should be pretty comfortably in the positive point differential for the season now with this 28-point win.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. No more of this like single digit or negative. I think they were
-1 coming into the week.
So, all right, got 27. I'll take a 27-point differential
Secure.
right now. So that's fun. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Defense, you guys got anything? This is just an absolute dominating effort by the defense. Jay, what are you thinking?
Oh man, the stats were fun. They absolutely stuffed a Browns run game that was proven to be somewhat effective, even though it fell flat on its face against the Titans. So maybe that's not. But I mean, Judkins had been having a decent year. 12 rushes for 21 yards. I mean, that's fantastic. You love to see it. Yep. I think one of the other fun, like they had, how many 3-and-outs did they have? 4 of the 5 possessions that the Browns had in the first half were 3-and-outs. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's like the turnovers. When we said that all season long, they did have 3 turnovers. Fantastic. But like the mark of a very good defense is, can you get 3-and-outs? Can you win that field position battle, et cetera, et cetera? They obviously did that. So it was really nice to see. One nitpicky thing though, and I know that the Bears had 5 sacks on the day. There were times in the first half and the second half where I was like, man, Shadur's got a lot of time. He could read a newspaper back there. Mm-hmm. And they still got to him, or he still threw the ball away. But I was like, whoa, there's some time before pressure was kind of mounted there. But, what are you going to do? You hold a team to 3 points and you have 3 turnovers and 5 sacks, and, you hold them to basically no yards and no movement. Like you just hang it up as an absolute win. It was a great performance.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when your big takeaway is that after a 5-sack performance, there was not enough constant pressure, I think you're doing okay. So we know that's the Bears' problem, right? The Bears are never going to be a team that regenerates constant pressure, at least not in this current makeup of them. Got to work around it, but they still found a way, like I said, to get I believe it was 5. I said 5. Is that the right number? 5 sacks?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
5.
Booker had 2.
He did have 2.
That's got to be the highest of the year total, right?
Oh, it's got to be.
I can't imagine.
Got
a lot of games where they had more than 4 sacks a game. That just doesn't seem right. But let's take a look at that. But yeah, excuse me. I also want to shout out my guy. You guys know I love TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards is my preseason MVP of the team. Obviously, he's only played in like 3 games this season, so that's not going to happen. But he grew up on the street I live on now. I say that all the time, but it's true. Very cool story. Anyway, TJ Edwards, his stats aren't really going to jump out at you. He didn't have any interceptions, didn't have any sacks, anything like that. But it just felt like every time the ball was in the middle of the field, he was near it tackling somebody.
Yeah.
Just flying around. So just, it's good to see him back. I think that the defense is better with him. I mean, I don't think. The defense is better with him out there, and it shows, and I'm glad to see him out there.
Yeah, I agree. I'd share that sentiment. Like, there were some big hits early on, especially in the cold too. It's like, hey, you're not gonna have a fun time running the ball or coming across the middle of the day. And like, that's his tone that gets set too. And he's just flying around. He's very impactful. So it was great to have him back out there.
Yeah, it was. It's good to have him back. And it seems like he's kind of back into the full swing of things. Got 2 games under his belt. So hopefully down the stretch, he'll be, an impact player, as we know he can be. So hopefully we get more of that sideline to sideline, hard hitting middle linebacker, the Chicago Bears middle linebacker stuff that we're used to seeing. So I do think, this is a good time as any to make sure that, I've already given Ryan Poles some credit for some stuff. I do think it's worth calling out 2 in-season acquisitions that have really contributed to this team and don't know where they'd be without these 2 guys. These are guys that were not on the Bears roster start the season that they picked up off waivers. Obviously CJ Gardner-Johnson, who has come in and he has been an absolute, I don't know what you want to call it, like a spark plug kind of guy.
Yeah, spark plug's great.
He might not necessarily be the best corner out there, but something about his attitude and the way that he plays is like infectious, and the team really responds well to him. He has been absolutely vital to this defense over the 7-game stretch when he was here and didn't have any other corners. So he has been an absolutely important person, probably if not the most important person on the Bears defense. And then DeMarco Jackson also, he got signed right out of training camp. He has been pulled into starting duty. He's got 4 starts on the season. I don't think anybody would have expected DeMarco Jackson to have 4 starts at the Bears for linebacker, but here we are, and he's played really well. He had an interception yesterday. So those 2 guys just, got to shout them out, because not only shout out Ryan Poles for getting these guys that fit into the defense and can, make a difference. Shout out to them for stepping up in these big roles and doing what needed to be done when there were just miles long injury list that, nobody was playing these 2 guys specifically. There were others, but these 2 guys specifically stepped up big, and I don't know where we'd be without them. So shout out to them.
I will say, yes, I agree 100%. CJ has been pickup of the year in maybe for a lot of teams, or most of the NFL. I would be curious to see. He has had attitude problems. It's always good to go. It's always good when you're winning.
Oh yeah.
If it was a different side of things, I wonder if there would be something different. But we're not in that reality. I don't need to go down that hole. It's nice to see that he jumped on that bandwagon and isn't a problem, and is kind of just like doing his next man up thing of like, hey, you're asked to do things, fill a hole, fill a gap, get it done, and he is.
Have you seen like his career, the teams he's been on, and how they've done in the standings and things, and how they did after he left? It's an interesting thing. He got drafted by the Saints. I believe his rookie year was the year that they got beat by the Rams in the NFC Championship game on that phantom pass interference call.
Oh my God.
Made. I believe that was his rookie year with the Saints. They were good then. They went to the playoffs, I think his first 3 years in New Orleans. Went to the Eagles in 2017, whatever year they went to the Super Bowl and lost. No, 2017. That's definitely that. Older. He went to his first year in the Eagles. They went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs. So that was that one. And then he went to the Lions, went to the NFC Championship game after being, the joke of a franchise for 50 plus years. And then he went back to the Eagles, won a Super Bowl, and now he's on the Bears 10-4. Yeah, there's a couple teams that he was on earlier this year that he got waived from that weren't included on that list, but it's still interesting to see that you're right. If you're winning, it don't matter. You can. This will be a problem down the road, I'm sure, but right now it's not. So let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Tremaine Edmonds 21-day practice window opened up today, which is super exciting. He was probably the Bears' best defensive player when he was playing. You get him back with TJ Edwards, and you get your 2 starting linebackers, plus all these guys with experience playing depth behind them. This is a very, this defense could be getting kind of dangerous right at the right time of the season. So love to see Tremaine Edmonds 21-day practice window open up. I don't know when does that mean he's been 4 weeks already? It has to be, right?
Yeah.
He's been 4 weeks. So he's technically eligible to play this weekend if he's healthy, which is good to know. All right. Well, we'll be talking more about that on Thursday. I'm sure. I have nothing about that, but that's exciting to see. I love that. This is the first I'm seeing that. So that's awesome. I love that. Anything else defensively you guys want to touch on?
It was just a great performance. One of the things I kind of threw out there too is like, how much are we giving credit that the Bears defenses had a great performance? Obviously they did. And how much are we saying, Shedeur and the Browns a little stinky,
Yeah. I think it's probably more the latter. The Browns are really, really bad.
It was so bad.
I mean, Shedeur, I didn't think he played. I mean, he wasn't good. But, I mean, you take the Jalen Johnson interception. That should have been a touchdown, right? That probably didn't need to be an interception. Other 2 pick. I mean, the one by DeMarco Jackson, I thought was a really good play by him. He kind of pretended to blitz, hid behind the defensive tackle, and popped out right as Shedeur was throwing it. So that was a really good play. And then the throw that he made to that CJ Gardner-Johnson got, it was a little underthrown. But I also think that was a good play by CJ Gardner-Johnson. The picks weren't bad. He hit some deep throws, but overall, the whole. Did you guys see the whole play card snafu with him early in the game?
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
So Shedeur,
bring up.
Like a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL, wears a wristband with a play card on it. The coach just calls hey, we're running play 74. Quarterback looks at his wristbands and okay, 74, and then he calls the play. Kevin Stefanski said that the play card fell out, but everybody else is reporting that he had the wrong play card in there. So they'd call a play number and the play number didn't match the play that they were calling. And it just nothing made sense. And they didn't have the right formations out there. And that was the first, I believe, 2 drives of the game for the Browns. So that's just the most Browns thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's exactly what it is. It's the most Browns thing all time. It's just crazy. So classic.
I mean, that seems like an Eberflus, Getsy situation. You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like to me. So that's you don't want to be there. I'd put a considerable amount of money on Stefanski not being the coach of the Browns next season. I don't know. What do you guys? I mean, he's got to be gone, right?
He's got to be gone. And I like him as a coach.
He's a great coach.
Honestly, I bet you he goes to the Giants, and there you go, and just fresh start for everybody. But he's got to be gone. It's just too much.
There's no. It's just a bad place too. Not great. And especially more than likely if they're going to get a top pick, you bring in a new regime that can work with that top pick. But damn, I feel bad for him because good coach.
I don't think anybody wants Kevin Stefanski to be fired more.
He'll get another. I don't feel too bad for him.
No.
Yeah. I was going to say, yep. I'm not feeling too bad for him. I think this is it's going to be for the best for his family, for his mental health. Go to another franchise. Stay the hell away from the Browns.
You don't have to live in Cleveland anymore. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's an interesting team because they do have some talent on the defense, and I like Quinshon Judkins. I think he's a good player. Harold Fannin, good tight end. I think they got some talent on the team. Just their offensive line is a disaster. I know they're injured right now, but man, that's a bad offensive line. So they need to, I think that, problem with the Browns.
I feel like they got, no, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the problem with the Browns is that they got 2 players on their team, holding half their salary cap. And one of those players doesn't even play because he's a bad guy. So,
oh my God, I keep on forgetting about Deshaun.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I think he still has at least another year on his guaranteed contract as well, maybe 2. So
Yikes.
and it's a big, big number. I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head.
60 million or something, right?
Sorry, not good podcasting. I'm Googling something. Hold on. So 46 million guaranteed each year, it looks like.
Sheesh.
So actually it's not as bad as I thought, but it's still a shitload of money. Plus they gave Myles Garrett that massive extension this season too, and he's worth it. I don't want to lump those two together because they could be the polar opposites, but that is a large chunk of your salary cap to be dedicated to 2 players.
Well, I feel like if you're the Browns too, you just gotta, if you're just gonna like change the coach, then you just gotta trade Myles Garrett. I feel, and just get like 3 first-round picks and just pray.
Yeah.
You know, because what are you gonna do? I mean, what's the point of having Myles Garrett when you're gonna be 3-14 every year? You know,
Probably the only thing keeping butts in seats.
Yeah, I mean, fair, very possible. Actually, I was going to say everyone was going to show up for no matter what, but maybe not in Cleveland. They've only known losing, so that might be true.
And I guess while we're talking about the Browns, the Bears did play the Browns. It is worth mentioning we got, I'm going to say Khalil Mack. Myles Garrett got a sack and a half, which puts him, I believe, exactly 1 behind the record. Is that right?
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. So the record is held by Michael Strahan. Jay knows something about Michael Strahan and TJ Watt of the Pittsburgh Steelers, both at 22 and a half. So he's 1 behind them with 3 games to go. Got to think he's going to break that record, but we will see.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome
scary,
if he
right?
breaks it inside the regular 16-game season too.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I think that would be nice because I think that there's a lot of, it is weird that we just kind of like all these records are just, they have an extra game now and there's nothing. Although I guess they, back in the, what was it, the 70s or those, whatever, they played 14 games. So
True.
This isn't the first time this happened, but anyway, okay. Well, that's all I got Bears wise. Anything else you guys want to throw on?
Quick ad that it just came to my mind. Tevin Jenkins revenge game. He was the starting guard for the Browns.
Oh yeah.
What happened to him? Guess what? Injured. Cannot complete the full game. So
Can't find the field.
Just brutal for the guy.
If there is ever a prop available in a game that Tevin Jenkins is starting to like say, will he finish this game or not? I will put my fucking mortgage, put my 401k on it. Like it's crazy. That guy he's incapable of playing 60 minutes of a football game. Good player, seems like a nice guy, can't play 60 minutes of a football game. So least shocking thing I've heard all day.
No, sir.
That's funny. I'm glad he called that out. I saw him playing early in the game. I was going to call it out, and I just completely forgot because he didn't play in the second half, and I forgot he was out there.
Running behind Tevin Jenkins too. It's like there's a reason why Judkins went 12 for 21 yards. You got Jenkins leading the way. Not going to do much.
If I ever see an ex-Bear on your starting offensive line, I am betting your running backs under.
You're gonna make some money.
Yeah, absolutely. I am gonna hammer that under.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's gonna do it for Bears Browns. But before we go on to our next segment, we're gonna go around. We're gonna grade this one. This will be a little bit more fun than last Monday. So Jay, I know you were able to watch the game. Why don't you give us your grades first?
This one's the best one, the easiest one I could do it. It's an A+, A+ on the offense, A+ on the defense, A+ on special teams, A+ everything. Give everything the A+. I mean, whatever. They got a kick blocked. It was Myles Garrett off the edge. Like Superman's flying in. He's going to do that. I don't give a shit. 31-3, A+, boom.
Great. Love it. Drew?
Yeah, just exactly what Jay said. I don't need to say anything more. You can't argue with this one and get nitpicky over little things, especially when you blow a team out by 28 points in a game that you should. Great all around. A+ to the coaching, A+ to the organization for winning this one, and exactly what you had to do after what happened last week.
Yeah, Yeah, I was thinking about docking the offense slightly because of the drops that they had. There's a handful of drops, but
Yeah.
with the weather the way it was, you can't really dock these guys too much for drops. I mean, the weather. I mean, just catching a football out there, I couldn't even imagine what that must feel like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, A+ is all around. You took care of business. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. You dominated a team 31-3. Definitely the best the Caleb has looked. Definitely the best the defense has looked. Best the team overall has looked, and they put an entire game together. We've been asking for it for weeks. After the Packers game, the big thing was that was a great 2 quarters. Let's play 4 quarters next time, and that's exactly what they did. So full game, A+. Let's move on to Packer week.
God, it's good to give a consensus A+. We've never been done. Hopefully we can do that a couple more times.
Yes.
But I mean, that's what happens when you win by 28 points. It's truly one of the first stress-free games that I've watched in years as a Bears fan.
Yeah. So. Oh God. Well, that was a lot of fun. I would love to do 3 more of these this regular season where we just have nothing but jokes and smiles and happiness about the Bears review show on Mondays. So, let's make that happen. That would, I think, be best for our collective health and blood pressure and whatnot. So, anyway, with that all being said, Jay, why don't you take us around the league a little bit? Had a better weekend around the league this weekend too.
Definitely. Yes, last week was like the worst case scenario. Bears lose, everyone else wins. This Bears win, everyone in the NFC North loses. That matters. The Vikings won, but we don't even need to waste our breath with them. So hey, Rams, Broncos, thank you very much. Your Christmas cards will be coming in the mail for your services. The Rams won a shootout with the Lions, 41-34. One of you guys picked the over in that, so that was excellently done. That's a lot of points going up. So Detroit drops to 8-6 on the year. Bears are 10-4. Detroit's at 8-6. They're in the 8th seed in the NFC at the moment, on the outside looking in still with the playoffs. And the Rams actually clinched a playoff spot. The first NFC team, the only NFC team to clinch a spot so far this year. So that's fantastic news. I think everyone was rooting for the Rams there. I mean, here's the worst part about this, guys. I'm still like very nervous about the Lions. Their schedule's like not overly difficult going forward. I think it's Steelers, Vikings,
Bears,
then Bears, right? So if they go 2-0, I don't want our week 18 game to mean anything. I'm so scared it's going to mean in or out of the playoffs. You guys feeling the same way? Nick, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to think that way. The Lions, that was every single person on this podcast picked to win the division this year. It was a team that we all picked to win the division literally before the Thanksgiving game when we kind of regrouped and talked about it again. So this is a good team. Yeah, scary. Like playing them a win and in situation in week 7 or week 18 is not something you want. I will say, and I actually am not. The Steelers, last time I checked, they were dominating the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. I am not watching that game. This is the first Monday night game I'm just like not watching.
Same here. Garbage.
Yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Last I checked, the Steelers were up like 21-3, I think. So
yeah, they crushed them. It was over.
Okay, good. Wonderful. So I think if the Steelers can beat the Lions this week, which is a big if, but if the Steelers beat the Lions and the Bears win against the Packers, which again, 2 things that are not guaranteed to happen. If that happens, the Lions are eliminated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just hope that happens and not deal with week 18.
I like that. I like the sound of that. God, it would be. I don't want to have another one of those years. What was it, 2013, 2012 or something? Where it's like, okay, we're in the playoffs game before the playoffs, and then it's like, I know we're not going to win it.
Yeah,
just history will not allow it. But I'm not saying I know that. That's the feeling. I mean, you know that. We're Bears fans. That's just, there's a cloud of dread that of past historic patterns that needs to be respected.
The thing that's encouraging to me is the Bears control their destiny through this. That hey, hey, what's a quick way to get in the playoffs? You win 2 games, and that last game doesn't really mean anything but seeding.
Yeah.
Granted, it's very hard competition, but that's the way I'm sure Ben Johnson maybe not is thinking, hey, win 2 games. He's saying we're just going to win games and focus on the next one. But I unlike you guys, I'm not as concerned about the Lions.
Good.
Anymore. I think they do have a very tough matchup against the Steelers. The Steelers have a lot to play for too, because their division is coming down to them and the Ravens are turning it on. So they're not going to give them many easy games. And also, like, Minnesota seemingly is not going to give away games anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're working towards something, and they're going to play them hard. And it's hard to play in Minnesota. So that's not a hand me win, in my opinion.
Yeah, they might get 9'd.
They might get 9.
They might get 9'd.
They might get 9. But I will say that the Lions, with their back against the wall, is a team that you don't really want to play. So let's just not make it happen and go down to the last week of the season.
I want nails and coffins. I want like an X or a Y next to the Bears in the standings that say just playoffs have been clinched. And I want that after next week. And I want to celebrate and not freak out.
Yes.
Eric just brought up a great point. Goff outside in the cold, week 18, bring it on.
That's a great point. And Nick, you love talking about, and Drew, you do too, right? You love talking about Goff blows outside of the dome in the cold. So that's, hey, at least we got that in the back pocket if we need it. The Rams look freaking electric, man. I mean, they're looking, they're in the 1 seed, but I mean, the Seahawks continue to win too. I'll get to them in a little bit. I believe they share the same record, and they'll be matching up against each other either this week or next week. I forget. Nick, how you feeling about that Stafford future you got though for MVP? Oh, pretty sweet ticket to be holding.
Yeah, feeling great about it. Got him at plus 500, so not as juicy as it was earlier in the season, but still he's at like minus 300 last time I checked. So already a ton of value accumulated on that ticket. Drake May was the next closest, and they lost. And basically the MVP is essentially the quarterback of the best team in the NFL these days, and I'm feeling pretty confident about that. So just need to, I would like to see the Rams continue to win. Do they have the 49ers again, or are they done with the 49ers?
Oh.
Doesn't matter, actually, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, because we're going to play the 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, or Packers. One of those 4 teams are the teams we're going to play in the playoffs. So
yeah, I know. And that's one of the things. It's like, hey, for Murderer's Row of having Packers, 49ers, Lions, those are playoff teams. I mean, maybe the Lions aren't, but like, you know what I mean? The quality of the team, it's teams you would see in the playoffs. So let's get the measuring stick out, see how we compete. Yeah. And you gotta win the games. You gotta beat these teams anyway. So let's start it right now.
Yeah. See the length.
Yeah, let's see the length. How's that thing measuring, dude?
Yeah, let's get
a little cold.
Let's get a notch in the
press it into the skin a little bit.
Yeah. Get in the sauna for a couple of minutes. Wiggle it around.
Put a couple notches of the old ruler.
Yeah. You really press it against
Devontae Adams, a little injured. That's a thing.
Yeah.
But
no, that is a thing.
It is a thing.
He is injured, and that could be big.
Puka left the game with some cramping. I thought it was a much more serious injury when I saw it live. It's just cramping apparently. So you hate to root for injuries, but God, it'd be nice to see Puka Nacua not play for the Raiders. He's so goddamn good.
Holy smokes, he's crazy good. Devontae's crazy good in the red zone.
I also don't like that they're finding a running back tandem, and Blake Corum is now becoming a thing. Like,
I know.
Come on.
Well,
that guy can't actually be good, right? He's like 5'6".
As a Kyron Williams fantasy owner, I can tell you he is good, and he is very frustrating how good he is.
Yeah.
Would love to see him not be good, because feel like everything he can do, Kyron Williams can do better. And I don't really understand why he's in there a lot of the time, but it is what it is.
He's pretty explosive, though. A couple of his runs, like, holy shit, who's that? Oh my God, Corum's got that breakaway speed apparently. So, but hey, we were talking about injuries. I'm going to turn the page here on the Rams. Let's go to the Broncos and the Packers. So Broncos came back. They love to do this year. I mean, shit, they've only lost 2 games this season, but Broncos came back from a 23-14 deficit in the third quarter, beat the Packers in Denver, dropping the Packers to 9-4-1, a big loss for the Packers. Even a worse loss for the Packers. Micah Parsons tore his ACL. He's gone for the year. I don't know about you guys. You don't want to root for injuries, but I mean, I almost have the Grinch smile. It's like I'm trying to hold it back, but I'm also like, yeah. So, I mean, don't hate me for rooting for an injury. I wasn't rooting for an injury, but goodness, if I can objectively understand that this gives the Bears a much better chance of beating them next week and, just having better chances in the playoffs, all of that. What do you guys think on the Micah injury? Improving chances? Are you happy about it? Are you sad about it? Drew, I know you had some thoughts on this. What do you think?
It's definitely a well-being check. We have a couple of friends that are Packers fans. I have another friend who I sent him a message that said, "Are you near a ledge? Please don't jump." Because that's a huge force for them. And anytime somebody said this to me, I don't know, Sam said it to us, and it made a lot of sense. Anytime that you pay that much money, that much guaranteed money to a player, and he's going to miss maybe a full season of games, maybe just about 3/4 of a season of games, and that's your arch rival, it is sort of a decent feeling. You don't root for injuries, but that is an impactful one for not only the Bears, but the entire NFC North and maybe the entire NFL, because the Packers were rolling. That kind of, when that happened, seemed like it kind of turned a corner for the Broncos even too in that game. And Bo Nix was able to do a couple more dynamic things and take over the game and actually win that one. So shows the already impact that it's going to have. It's going into a game that is very crucial for us. So you just kind of say, you know what, we're going to take what we're given and thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take on it, right? I mean, I think that's a reasonable approach. Nick, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not rooting for injuries in that I'm not sitting there watching a Packers game saying, I hope Micah Parsons tears his ACL. I am celebrating a little bit that it happened, and it sucks for him, but I'm a Bears fan. My allegiance is to the Bears. I want the Bears to do the best they can. Micah Parsons not being a part of this team the rest of the season, just straight up makes the Bears' chances of winning games better.
Simple as that.
That's nothing personal against Micah Parsons. Nothing. This could have, if the Lions were in the Packers position, this was, Aiden Hutchinson last year, same reaction. Nothing Packers really specific. Just the Bears are in I don't want to waste this good Bears season. I don't want the Bears season to we have a good season. I don't want it to be wasted. And if this helps the Bears any increment, I'm going to take any advantage I can get. So I'm happy that this is happening in the fact that it helps the Bears. It sucks for them. I think Drew made a good point. If you know any Packer fans, reach out to them, make sure they're doing okay. Because my God, what a bunch of fucking crybabies. One thing goes wrong.
Wow.
One thing goes wrong, and the whole season's over.
Fuck you, Paul.
I hate football. This is stupid. It's you go to the playoffs every fucking year. This heartbreak just came 3 weeks earlier than it usually does for you. Take a break. Chill out.
Yeah. I mean, they're still going to make the playoffs, and I think Paul, for example, with our buddy Paul was like, "You guys are going to win next week." Oh, my life is it's like, dude, you're still in the play. What? Nothing bad has happened yet, right? No negative outcome is being experienced yet. So let's lay off the craziness. I couldn't agree.
Yeah, you would have thought Paul had already bought his Super Bowl tickets the way he reacted. Saying, I lost my investment money right there. Come on.
Yeah. That's an embarrassment of riches that they're just accustomed to. So it's you can maybe have a little bit of nerves that maybe you'll get the 7 seed rather than win the division this year.
Yeah, seriously.
You're going to be okay. Christian Watson had an injury too. Christian Watson kind of ran all over us.
Yeah.
A couple, 2 games ago, if you will, at this point. Was doing some Googling. It looks like he's going to be fine. Unfortunately, flip that one in there. I was hoping he wasn't going to be fine.
That dude's a little bit Mr. Glass.
He's made of glass.
He made of glass.
So,
he made of glass.
Yes.
A little bitch.
Man, if he doesn't need to, it sucks that Jaden Reed came back and Jaden Reed looks okay. But like, if he doesn't need to, I don't think he's going to suit up on Sunday.
It'd be fine by me. I wouldn't hate them having less starters starting. But we'll see that. We'll dive into that more. I don't want to spend too many bullets on the Packers. We're back into Packers week. We'll save that for the Thursday show. But I mean, we got everything we kind of could have wanted from the NFC North, right? Loss, Vikings win. Honestly, probably good for the Bears because the Vikings play the Lions and the Packers still this season. And maybe they have a little bit of momentum to build off of, something to not throw in the towel completely and keep on kind of rocking and rolling, like Drew said earlier. So
yeah, this team with McCarthy at quarterback, they're not going to throw in the towel at all. Like, they got to see what they got with this guy.
Yeah,
they need to cut it off if it's not going the right way, and they need to build on confidence if it is going the right way. So this Vikings team, they're playing the full 17 games this season. There's no doubt about that. Justin Jefferson, has he been playing? That's a good question. I wouldn't be able to tell you by looking at the stat sheet.
No, I know.
The Vikings are playing hard, and that is good for the Bears. So I agree with you.
No, yeah, it's totally insane that Justin Jefferson just is completely irrelevant this year. What are you going to do? He's on Sam's dynasty team, so I'm fine with that.
Hey, when you can look at a Minnesota Vikings scoreboard, I'm just looking at the play-by-play and the scoring plays. You got 2 touchdowns from Jalen Naylor, a J.J. McCarthy run, and a C.J. Ham run. What a game. What a game script right there, Kevin O'Connell.
C.J. Ham's been on the Vikings for 20 years. I swear to God. What's the deal?
He's like the Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just there.
He's just going to stick around. If they change head coaches, they'll be like, what the fuck's this guy? And then you gotta get him. Let's use this roster.
He's got a contract?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a lifetime contract? Oh,
he's a lifer. He's got some weird shit on the owners. He knows things that shouldn't be known.
Yep.
No, but good for him. Also, I don't know if it was Naylor who just got scrambled eggs brain after he had made a spectacular catch. But I mean, he hit the back of his head so hard, it's like, oh, he's gonna die. And I forget who was the other wide receiver that didn't really recognize he had a full blown concussion. He was like, he thought he was doing a celebration. Came in with the needle to inject him in his thigh. He's like, yeah. I was like, oh my god, he's going to be dead.
He's throwing up fucking concussion fingers. He's celebrating with us.
I don't know. I don't know how he's
pretend needle.
How did he still catch that ball though? Too I think the ball was just laying on his chest at some point. His hands weren't even on it.
And it was so funny too because the announcers weren't even acknowledging, but they kept on doing a replay. It's like, oh my god, that guy just smashed his head on the ground. It's like, what a great catch! Oh, that's why you love to see it. It's like, I think we need medical attention here. It's phenomenal. So anyway, too much time on the Vikings, but those were a couple of funny things. But let's move on to the NFC West. The NFC West is insane.
So good.
I mean, what the hell? We already talked about the Rams. So the Rams are 11-3. The Seahawks are 11-3 as well. Although they had we'll talk about the Seahawks here. They had to sweat one out, and they sweated one out against literally a grandfather in Phillip Rivers, a 44-year-old grandfather.
It's a pretty young grandfather. Let's give him a little credit. That's a very young
that is
grandfather.
Crazy. But it's also just a crazy stat that the grandpa's in. But and that is a pretty damn young grandpa.
44. That's not that much older than we are. So.
I was gonna say it's only
6 years older than me. I'm 38.
Half a dozen, right? Yeah.
Man,
you could still have a son at that age, I think. Anyway, but yeah, I mean the Seahawks got a last, within 20 seconds or so, 56-yard field goal to win by 2 points. I think we were all rooting for Phillip Rivers. That was fantastic to watch. Great storyline and all. It would have been even that much sweeter if he could have won. But lo and behold,
Rivers did not go all Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, LL Cool J making weird commercials. Phillip Rivers goes all Phillip Rivers. Go Chargers, go. Yeah, I mean, it would have been sick, but again, the Seahawks are 11-3, and then the 49ers play the Titans. Of course, they won 10-4. And what's going on? Something's got to give there. They're just not losing to anyone outside of themselves, beating themselves up in their own division. Yeah. So, I mean, worst case scenario from the NFC West, because the Bears don't gain any or lose any. Obviously, they won, but they aren't gaining any ground in potential wild card spots. So, what are you going to do? But Nick, I'll kick it over to you. I don't want to go too quickly around these, but did anything stand out? 49ers, Titans, Seahawks, Colts, Phillip Rivers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think when you talk about the Seahawks, it's easy to kind of get stuck on the Sam Darnold storyline, JSN being the best receiver in football this year. But I think you need to really understand this Seattle defense is elite. Mike McDonald, their coach, is one of the best. He was the Ravens defensive coordinator a couple of years back, and he's one of the best defensive minds in the NFL. So you see the Seahawks and how they sweat out this game. The Seahawks offense can be stopped because Sam Darnold's their quarterback, right? He's a good quarterback, but he still is that guy that we saw on the Jets in the last couple of games of the Vikings last year. He's still in there. So the Seahawks offense can be stopped, but that defense is an elite unit. And also Phillip Rivers. That just needs to be talked about. That he came in, hadn't played in 5 years, and he threw a touchdown in this game, and he almost brought them all the way back. That was a classic Phillip Rivers game, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
Being down by a field goal late in the game, driving, trying to get that field goal to tie or take the lead. That's exactly what I picture Phillip Rivers from the 2010s. Just every three. At 5:45 every Sunday, you could mark your calendar. Phillip Rivers was going to be driving with a chance to win that they probably weren't going to win. That was kind of how I remember Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. And I think that was super cool, though. Just off the couch into the starting lineup, and it looked all right. He put on a couple of LBs, but you're allowed to do that when you haven't played in the NFL for 5 years.
He said it himself. He was never running away from anybody when he was in his prime. So what?
Yeah, that's true.
But Eric made a good point in the chat. Rams Seahawks on Thursday night this week.
Ooh,
that's a big one. That's
going to be a beaut. Hey, we'll live stream during the game. That'll be a big one. I think we're Rams fans at this point. The Rams have already punched their ticket into the playoffs.
Yeah,
I guess it doesn't matter. Maybe
they're both the same record. So whoever wins that game is going to go to the 1 seed, and whoever loses is going to go down to the 5. So it's really kind of a toss up. But honestly, like I said before, unless the Lions go on some miracle run, and honestly, if the Lions do make the playoffs, the team they're probably going to knock out of the playoffs is probably the Bears. So if the Bears are in the playoffs, you're probably going to be playing whoever doesn't win one of the two teams that doesn't win the NFC West or the Packers. Those are really the only 3 teams you could play.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. So really, there's not really too much things that can change. You might get a home game if you win the division or go on the road. Obviously, I don't want to go to Seattle. That'd be worst case scenario.
Yeah, it would suck.
No, we're definitely Rams fans because of the fact that we play San Francisco. Seattle still has San Francisco on their chart on going to San Francisco. Yes, they have the more likely schedule to lose more games. Rams are probably just going to win out.
And also, if you play the long game, Bears, even if the Bears do get the 7 seed and or a 6 seed, these teams do play each other a lot. If you have to go to either San Francisco, Seattle, or LA, I'd rather go to LA. It's such a neutral crowd. The Rams aren't they're not a huge home crowd environment situation. So I want the Rams to have home field advantage because I don't think there's much of an advantage to be had there.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
So I dig
Rams.
it. Go Rams.
Okay. We're rocking Rams. Rocking Rams for Thursday. I'm sold on that. Okay. Well, rock and roll. So I don't think there's much to really hit on the 49ers over the Titans. They played the Titans. The Titans suck. They won. Yeah.
They took care of
Anything else
business, just like the Bears.
Yeah. Raiders, Browns, right on. So we're kind of getting into, we've been talking playoffs and everything. I wanted to bring this up too, because I don't know if you looked at the graphic, but after the Bears won and the Packers lost and the Lions lost, I was like, the Bears probably got to have a pretty high odds to make the playoffs. And it's still just every time they win it, their odds of making the playoffs don't seem to really go up. And whatever this, statistical model that's being used by ESPN is in hopefully if you're listening, you're like, who the fuck cares about that, which is fine. But I also think it's just bizarre to see the number attached to the Bears being 10-4, all that. Do you know what that number is? Do you guys have a guess, or do you guys know?
What?
Why the number is so much lower than like?
No. I mean, so they're saying they have a 75% chance being, and I think that's just, I just feel like that was lower than I would have expected. I thought that would have been closer to like 90%, but I guess it makes sense because of the
2 divisional games still left. Another plus 6 win team on your record, and the other 2, playoff teams. It makes sense. A statistical model is not going to look at your games and an eye test at all this year. I think anybody that looks at what the Bears have done so far this year, they say they're a little bit higher of a percentage. What is interesting to me is the Packers being so much above us to not so much, but 13% above us to win the division, which shows that they are favoring the Packers to win the matchup, which again, we're going to talk about this a little bit more on Thursday, that the Packers are favored to win that matchup. It's just more of like, again, shows a statistical model is not measuring what is happening right now. It's statistics. It's like
it's nerd shit.
It's not going to measure anything like that.
Nerds, man.
Nerds.
It's always the nerds. No,
Really quick, one thing I do want to say: Bears Packers line opened at 2.5. Packers minus 2.5 yesterday. It's already down to 1.5. So if you want to bet on the Bears, I think get your bets in early. I think that line's going to go down.
I do so.
So I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's half. Pick them by kickoff. I really don't, because I think Micah Parsons makes that much of a difference. I think a lot of the public money is going to come on the Bears, which will drive that line down.
I agree with you, Nick. I think it's going to go off at money line. If not, Bears might even be favored. To be quite honest with you, I think Micah Parsons being out should be massive on the betting side of things. Now, don't get me wrong. I still think the Packers are a very formidable team. In fact,
for sure. Yeah.
What I
texted
texted
not a gimme.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was questioning the actual impact of how devastating of an injury this is going to be for the Packers. I think that they're a really well coached team, and they do a lot of things very well. And I don't think that one player, even though he's a superstar, takes them out of contention of being a great team. But again, we'll touch on that more.
Yeah.
In the next show, but I just wanted to call that. And I love to call out the fact that the Tampa Bay Bucks, who are now 7-7, have the same statistical probability of making the playoffs according to this model as the Chicago Bears, who are 10-4. Absolute bogus bullshit. I hate it.
I wish the Bears were in the NFC South. I say it
I
every
know.
week.
I know.
NFC South is so bad.
And I'm not going to call for sweeping no. I get it. I get the division.
Got to play your division.
You get in. Yeah, right.
Yeah. But it's just it's going to happen sometimes.
Yeah, it is. What's up,
the NFC South should just be won by the Saints for winning back-to-back games against the Bucks and the Panthers.
Yeah,
give it
for real.
Give it.
It's just no one wants to win the division. They're just laying down and taking it by the Saints.
The Saints, their record in division is actually really good this year. Like, I know they have at least 3 wins against their division.
They beat Carolina twice now.
Right.
God.
It's unreal.
Do you got that? Are you looking that up, Nick?
I am, yeah, because I'm curious what it is.
It's 3-2.
Yeah, I mean that's a winning record for a bad team. That's
yeah.
When you have 4 wins and 3 of them are in division.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
A bad division. That's what that is. It's a bad division.
Really bad division.
Anyway.
All right. Well, let's keep on going around the NFL. I think what's the news outside of the Bears and outside of what impacts the Bears' playoff chances, the news in the NFL for me was, the Kansas City Chiefs just got officially eliminated from the playoffs with 3 weeks to go, 3 games to play. I don't think anyone really saw that one coming. And if you did, God bless you. But they just kept on losing games. To add salt to the wound, Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL in the closing minutes of the game.
Ugh.
And they're trying to come back. And it's just from bad to really a lot worse. So, you know what? You've had a decade run of doing a lot of good things. I'm not saying it's over. It's never going to be over with Mahomes. I actually kind of see this a lot like with the Tom Brady. You can take a little bit of a gap. Mahomes going to Mahomes. But just wild to see them missing the playoffs. And Drew, I don't know, were you going to say something?
There's a couple of funny things. One, Jay, it was a shock to everybody, including Chris Jones. If you guys didn't
Yeah.
we still have a fighting chance. Hey, Chris, you guys are actually mathematically eliminated. Oh.
He's off to Maui. He's off to Cancun.
Like, well, in that case.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, my groin injuries.
I'm out.
Flaring up.
Damn.
That Andy Reid did say today that Patrick Mahomes didn't do any other damage to any other ligaments, which is good. That's point 2. Point 3, wherever you can find it, maybe on Kalshi, whatever the new betting apps, find Patrick Mahomes comeback player of the year for next year.
Yep.
You can book that right now. It's probably like minus 750, but might as well get it while it's hot.
You're gonna win, yeah.
Yeah. No
And
doubt
then
about
the
it.
last one, the last thing, shit. Now I'm forgetting. Damn it. I forgot what I had with the last one, but
When it comes back, let it rip.
whatever. Casey, it needed to be done. There needs to be something different in the league, in the AFC. There's plenty of talent over there. So thank God.
Though?
Evil Empire. Oh, no. I remember. Okay. Saw an interesting stat today. Both Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady in their first 7 seasons went to the Super Bowl 5 times, won the Super Bowl 3 times. In their 9th season, they both injured their ACL and lost the season. So it's eerie, the comparisons that you see in Tom Brady and just that career path and all of the things that are happening. And if he comes back and wins 4 more Super Bowls, I'll hate it.
Yeah.
I'll hate the NFL.
And even more eerie, similar to Tom Brady, his entire 20-plus year career, whatever, never took a snap being mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, which is a crazy thing to say. The year he got hurt, they were eliminated, but they were alive when he got hurt. And then every other year, he missed the playoffs a few times, but they were in it up until the end of their game. You know, the last game of the season.
Right.
And now Patrick Mahomes, now that he got injured prior to the Chiefs losing, also has never taken a snap with being mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, which is, Patrick Mahomes is impressive at 8 years or 9 years, whatever his career is. Tom Brady, 21 years in the NFL, not ever taking a snap that wasn't like consequential to his playoffs chances is insane.
That is insane. That's a cool stat, man.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah.
I dig that. Well, RIP to the Chiefs. No one feels bad for you. You guys have dominated for a long time. So let someone else have a turn to play in the sandbox, please.
Yes, sir.
And goodness, the AFC South went from like the laughing stock of which bum ass team's going to win this to they might have 2 teams into the playoffs and probably are, right? The Jags improved to 10-4, same record as the Bears. I wrote in there, how are they doing this? And someone's got to explain that to me, because how are they doing this? Like I look at that team and I watch Trevor Lawrence play. I'm like, that guy's not good. Here they are. Apparently he's pretty good because he went insane against the Jets
Like
last
7
this past week.
touchdowns.
Yeah. But like is their defense good? What am I missing? Is their run like what they kind of remind me, and don't hate on me for this, but they kind of remind me of like the Bears. Like how's this kind of happening? But there's underlying, like, they're running the ball very well. Their defense is better than people think it is. Their quarterback's not as bad as people think that he is. Like, I don't know. There's some similarities there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think with the Jags, like the reason, I mean, I think they really needed like a number one receiver, and Brian Thomas Jr. had that really tough start to the season. He's been better lately, but Jacoby Myers has been a monster since he's been over in Jacksonville.
True.
I think that has a lot to do with it. Plus Wow, that was a time machine moment.
Whoa.
Dude.
Travis Etienne has also been a monster the past month or so. So, yeah, I mean, Duval, he's doing something over there. Duval.
Yeah, there's something about being able to play Tennessee a few games too.
That helps too. Yeah,
that does. And they got, I mean, you just look at their last 5 games: 35-6, yes, 27-24, but 25-3, 36-19, 48-20. Like, that's a plus 50 almost.
That's crazy.
More than that, actually, plus 60 scoring differential in 5 weeks.
Yeah,
you just haven't seen that much from Jacksonville. Just us being on the Midwest. So I don't know if they're real. This is going to be a big test for them this week. Going to Denver.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting game, because then they finish the season at Indy versus Tennessee. Like, they're going to the playoffs. And they probably have to get home field advantage to feel comfortable. But yeah, I don't know. I can't trust in Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I don't. The whole playoffs picture is so weird, because like okay. I heard this on. I was listening to ESPN 1000. Rich Eisen. Okay, weird that I was listening to that. Granted, but good hypothetical question. Take out the LA Rams. Who are you betting to win? Like, who's the team to beat in either the AFC or the NFC as the favorite to win the Super Bowl?
Me personally, I'd say if you can't bet on the Rams, I'm saying Bills.
Yeah, right. I mean, I feel like it's probably the Bills, even though they have their faults.
They're not going to win their division. They're going to be like the 5th seed, 6th seed. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like you got the Jags, you have the Broncos, the Patriots. You throw the Texans in there. I feel like the Texans actually have a formidable. But like, there's a lot of these weird teams. And then the NFC side, it's like, is anyone who's taking anyone terribly seriously there? The Eagles,
not interested.
No.
Right? What? But I feel like it's. Trouble. I feel like it's the most.
Niners are decent, but
Niners. But like, normally there's like, at this point of the season, when we get to December, it's like, all right, well, in season past, like, all right, it's the Lions or the Ravens or the Chiefs, and those are the, like, you can narrow it down to 3 teams that are like, this is realistically who's going to win the Super Bowl. I feel like that is completely wide open. Anyone who enters into the playoffs has a legitimate claim to say that why not this year? Well, this is a why not year.
Any team except for the NFC South winner.
Yeah, correct. They're out. That's correct. Yeah. Yes. The Panthers making a run in the playoffs. I'll kill myself.
Although I think I told you guys this at the beginning of the season. There is like, Pardon My Take mentioned this at the beginning of the season. So every single season that Ohio State wins the college football playoff champion or the college football championship, the same year that Jennifer Lopez gets divorced, the following year the Panthers go to the Super Bowl. It's happened twice in the same year. So.
All right, maybe that's the play.
And that happened last year. So just want to say.
Well, I might have to put a dollar or two on that bet just to say I did it then. Phenomenal.
Anyway.
All right, we're going to wrap things up too. I think I had a blast watching this game. It was Bills-Patriots. Jamie texted me before the game. He's like, what's a good lock for the week? I said, yeah, if you want anything, take the Bills -1.5, baby. You're going to cash that ticket. Lo and behold, halftime comes around, is 24-7 Patriots. I'm like, ruh-roh.
Yeah, this is fine.
That they made the
Fine,
mistake.
dog on fire.
Miraculously, they came back, won, covered. Everyone was happy.
Never a sweat.
Never a sweat. It was kind of fun. But that for me was all's right in the world. Like, can we just have the better team win? You know?
Can we have Drake May fail?
Yeah.
Please.
Well, I'd like to see Drake May succeed, but
yeah,
selfishly, dynasty.
Fair.
So.
Oh, dynasty. Yeah, makes sense. He's your guy.
He's
but anything,
Nick. Well, a game or two. We're out of dynasty playoffs right now. Okay.
I'm just saying in general. I've
got to do it.
My dynasty team is awful. I won one matchup this year, so really bad. Anyway, moving on.
Hey, you'll get some good draft picks, I'm sure, depending on how we sort that whole thing out. I don't know. But anything else around the league that I failed to touch on that you thought was worth chatting about, guys?
I was really high on the Bengals this week. I thought they were going to show some life, and they did not. They were really bad, and the Ravens
absolute letdown.
Ravens kept the pressure on the Steelers, but more importantly, Zach Taylor's getting fired at the end of the season. That's 100% a lock at this point. So that's two vacancies we have.
How does Jamar Chase go for 10 catches for like 170? Maybe it wasn't 170.
It was like 150. Yeah.
150.
Yeah.
Don't score a point.
No
0 points whatsoever.
It was, and the Ravens defense is not what you think of when you think of Ravens defense. They are not a good team, and they just shut out the Bengals. So I was really high on the Bengals this week, and may have been highly leveraged on the Bengals. Definitely had some fantasy relevance tied to the Bengals. I started Joe Burrow over Jared Goff this week in a playoff match, which did not go great for me. Anyway, that was.
I can't blame you there, right? I mean, you can't be blamed for that.
I didn't think they were going to win, but I definitely thought it would be a fun and competitive game, and it was not. It was the worst game of the slate.
Well, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this is something to talk about because it's going around the NFL. And Nick, we didn't talk about it in the preview show, but it was happening while, like, just before we had the show, with Joe Burrow being interviewed and him seeming like he was in full depression mode.
Yeah.
Of like, I don't know if I want to play. Like, this is like when it stops becoming fun for me. Like, maybe I need to stop doing it. And like, where is this coming from? You just got back from injury. You just played like 3 great games. Are you like, I don't know. Are you an adolescent or a teenager, like going through middle school, like, and you don't want to read The Giving Tree or something, dude? Come on.
You're 29 years old, brother.
Yeah,
like, you're a quarterback in the NFL getting paid millions. Like you find the fun. The fun is out there.
Weird.
Okay, you gotta have fun.
If you can't find the fun, that might be a you problem, buddy.
Come on.
But,
might be wired wrong, bro.
I did see a couple tweets that said that, like, this is, Carson Palmer went through a very similar situation. He was in the Bengals, same ownership group, notoriously like cheap and not a great player friendly organization in Cincinnati. So a lot of the sentiments I'm seeing online were just, okay, when Matt Stafford retires, Joe Burrow will be the Rams quarterback or something like that. He'll be somewhere else making a ton of money and be a very happy man. And I could see it, and that would be good for him. But yeah, I mean, I could also see being fucking depressed in Cincinnati every time anybody has any kind of dispute about their contract. The owner, like, is ticky tack and is so penny pinching about everything. And Cincinnati's not a great place to like live and be, like, in general. It's not like, it's not a bad place, but it's like, Ohio,
no, you're right.
Ohio. Right. I haven't heard anybody want to travel to Ohio.
You ain't wrong.
Well, the funniest reaction I think of all that I heard to that Joe Burrow was Jamar Chase got interviewed, and he thought it was AI the entire time. He goes, "Wait, that really happened? I thought that was an AI conversation."
That's hilarious. Dude, that's hilarious.
But anyway, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about.
Cool. Drew, you got anything else you want to throw in there?
Nah.
All right. Well, that'll take us over to the podium list then. Before we get to the podium list, Barely Qualified podcast Podium List is proudly fueled by the fizz of Glen Rock Pop, Lake County's legendary soda revival. Crafted with pure cane sugar, poured into classic glass bottles, and bursting with nostalgic flavor, Glen Rock is more than a drink. It's a hometown icon. Whether you're sipping on orange, cream soda, or Nick's personal MVP, the all-new lime, Glen Rock is bringing the joy to every corner of Lake County. Want to catch their pop-up trailer in action? Follow Glen Rock Pop on Facebook for the latest event stops. Ready to stock up? Well, then head on to glenrockpop.com to find retailers near you. From tailgates to game days, Glen Rock Pop is the ultimate sideline sip. Don't just drink, celebrate. So onward to the Podium List, gentlemen. A little random, but random's fine. John Cena, the legendary John Cena, tapped out in his last wrestling appearance, apparently, quote unquote, last. I'm sure he'll be back somewhere at some point, but for right now, his last ever wrestling moment. And I saw some clips of that. I'm not a huge wrestling guy, never was a huge wrestling guy, but close enough, right? I think we kind of grew up in an era where it was unavoidable. Video games, watching stuff when we were in the prime teenage years, impactful. So our topic this week is our favorite wrestlers, either now or from the past or whatever, all time. So you know how we do it: gold list, silver list, bronze. We're gonna go Nick, J, Drew, Nick, Drew, Nick, J. Nick, if you want to lead us off on this one, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I watched wrestling it sounds like we're about on the same page, Jay. I was not like a huge wrestling person, but I got into it. It was very much part of pop culture when we were in like middle school, early high school, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So around like 2004, 2005, I wasn't really paying attention as much, but like up till then I was. I was going to do my favorite wrestler, but then I Googled Chris Benoit, and it turns out not a good guy. So
a little audible.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, no. My had to throw a Chris Benoit joke out there. Anyway, my number one is and always has been Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was, I don't want to give picks away. There were two big guys around that time, and I always aligned with the Stone Cold side. Everything about him was awesome, and when I think of wrestling, that's like the first face and name that I think of. So Steve Austin.
Austin,
the beers,
the rattlesnake, and
rattlesnake. Just the best. The whole persona was absolutely electric. There's like a commercial out there, some publicity thing. Sir, what can I get you? I'll have an ice cold beer. Sir, it's 10 a.m. Well, that's a great point. Well, I'll have 2 ice cold beers. It's like the stupidest shit.
Sir, can I get you a cup of coffee? Oh, it's 10 o'clock in the morning already. I don't need a cup of coffee. I'll take an ice cold beer.
That's
please.
what it is. Thank you, Nick. That's what it is.
Beer, what? Tequila, what? Rum, what? Dude, Stone Cold, the best.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a great pick. I mean, that's a great pick.
Number one overall for me too, Nick.
Yeah,
so
he was the guy. So yeah,
too much good stuff. Well, fantastic. I'm gonna go and take my gold guy. A little obscure, but I have to stay true to my colors here and in my upbringing and my middle school days. Sure, you'll remember this guy, Rikishi.
Yeah,
Rikishi.
Yeah.
The thong-wearing, obese, big old Rikishi, famous for putting that ass right on your nose. That was his finishing move. You go to the corner, you get a little dazed and confused. You're gonna get some cheeks. You're gonna get the stink face.
Stink face. Yeah.
I don't know. That some people that I knew growing up used to do that to each other and try to pin people down and then plant ass on the face. Weird guys. Don't know them. But Rikishi's my guy. Close to my heart. Hilarious move.
Oh God. I didn't even think about that guy.
I know it's a very obscure pick, but like he is mentioned or his move is mentioned at least once, I would say every other week in our group chat. He was that influential in the things that he did. And his move was executed plenty in one of our good friends, Brian Roth's basement.
Absolutely, it was.
Whenever we could. If it was a poker hand that got out of hand, you're getting a bare ass to the face. And we took it up. We took it up a notch. It wasn't, just a clothing ass to the face. We're taking our pants off and putting it.
It was pretty extreme.
Yeah.
It was pretty. Yeah. I mean, you're just getting held down. You just hoping for a clean breath. Wipe your face off. Go in the shower. Good God.
Hopefully that person wiped their ass that day.
Yeah, well, you gotta hope.
You're coming in fresh.
There was a lot we could go into. Actually, when Mark Janicek visited Marquette, Nick, I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, I remember everything.
Yeah, there was an immediate rikishi. I think we held down one of our buddies, Phil, and this random guy that he's never met, ass on face. Yeah. Just welcome to the dorm.
Yeah, one thing I loved about your guys' like high school group is that you guys were just the most comfortable with group male nudity I've ever seen in my entire life. And like obviously that happened, and I tell this story all the time, but there was the first weekend Drew ever came up to visit. I was coming back from my afternoon class, and I walk into our dorm. We had the long hallway down to our, like, you're in the very corner. Mine was 2 doors down, closer to like the main lobby area. And I was getting close to my room, and all of a sudden I just saw this giant ass like walking towards your room. And I saw Drew's ass before I saw his face. Like, that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. And I'll never forget it. So I love your group's proclivity to male nudity. It's great.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah,
that was part in contribution to the WWF Attitude Era. Just full nudity at any time.
Of course.
Yeah. And I don't want that Trish Strass nudity. I want that male nudity.
Yeah. Who needs that?
Oh
yeah.
Oh God.
So all right, I'll throw out my gold. Both your picks were in one. Nick, your 1 of 1 was my 1 of 1. Jay, Rikishi's up there for me always. My 1 of 1 is a legend in the game. He, for me, personifies longevity in the WWF, and I always cheered for him, even though he was synonymously a bad guy. But then became neutral at the end. Mine is The Undertaker. He just had been there for a while. He kind of had the long streak in WrestleMania forever. But I remember watching Undertaker through the years and seeing him as just a mainstay. And I think what turned me off sometimes was everybody talked way too much. Undertaker didn't. Undertaker just got in and he wrestled. He did his shit and got out. And some of the Attitude Era, when everybody was on the mic for 5+ minutes, it pissed me off. I just wanted to see action, and the Undertaker always brought it. So Undertaker for me, 1 of 1.
Very iconic. I mean, very iconic. All the whole theatrics with Undertaker were phenomenal too. Like, it was really probably the most immersive character, because, like, especially when we were that young, I was like, is this guy like actually like a dead guy? Like, he's like a real monster. And he played that part so like perfectly. Also, I want to say this: the first wrestling match that I actually truly watched was at Jamie Ensley's house, Hell in a Cell, '98. Undertaker versus Mick Foley. If you haven't seen it, it's probably one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. Foley's just going in, and again, he might be on the list, probably will be on someone's list. But that sunk me in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could not believe what I was seeing. I was 10. I was like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. So sorry to go on a rant, but I love the pick. I love Undertaker.
Yeah, it's a great pick. It's on my list for sure. I mean, how could he not be?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go into the silver. It's gonna be me, Drew, and then Nick in the silver. I'm gonna take a layup here, and I'm gonna take The Rock. Right. I mean, I think that he was like the guy who got me for sure, like into wrestling, starting off as such like this almost flamboyantly crazy like heel to start things off. It was like there's this natural gravitation towards this. Like, you can't do that. Like that's not how you can't do that. And again, it'd be 10, 11 years old. It's like there's just something naturally like this is really, I'm curious. And then, you know, he obviously turns into this superstar movie aficionado, but like in The Rock with when you look back at some of like the late 90s rock stuff, it is just hilarious how he would sell this overly flamboyant personality of just ultimate heel, and I loved it. So give me The Rock.
Yeah.
If you smell.
Mm-hmm.
If you smell what he's cooking,
There's
the people's elbow, like he was ultimate defiance, but yet like everybody just wanted to be him, and that's where he got the eyebrow raise, all of that. Like him and Stone Cold for what, almost 10 years back and forth was so good. And then you throw in Vince I'm sorry, he's not going to be on anyone's list, but you throw in Vince McMahon and just the defiance to the system and all of that. Yeah, The Rock pre-early was number one overall. The later he got, and it just became, you know, I'm a pillar for good. Look at what I do. Hollywood Rock, sort of. Nah.
Yeah. Heel Rock is the best Rock for sure.
Yeah. The Rock, I mean, again, wasn't super huge into wrestling, but like know your role was like a big quote used in my friend group. The use of the word jabroni was kind of like brought into the lexicon through The Rock. So I'm a big, like it would have been a disservice to this list if he was not here. So
no doubt. Yep. Drew, who you got next?
All right, I got Mr. Sacco.
Yeah.
I'm taking Mick. I'm taking his many personalities. I'm taking all of that. The chainsaw. Give me all of that. This is a dude that I think was the most just human wrestler of all time. Looked like your next door neighbor. Looked like he, you know, also hadn't cleaned himself in about 5 years. But that man probably was more athletic and could take more damage than anybody on the WWF or WWE roster ever. And I praised him for it because, yes, he would always do the big stunts. He would always, you know, unfortunately lose, but be in the big matches. And you got to just have respect for a guy like that. That will be up on top. Get in the big matches, take the pain all the time. Jay, you already mentioned the match, but I can just see The Undertaker throwing him through that cell onto tacks, onto anything, and him actually getting up. Like, unbelievable. Mick Foley was somebody who I wanted to be when I was younger, and probably not the best picture that you want to be, but he was a wrestler that I remember. Two of the biggest wrestling fans, and Jay will remember this name, Nick you won't, but the Raimis always tried to pick Mick Foley or Mr. Sacco as their guy, and I remember that wholeheartedly, that he was a guy that would always give his full effort when wrestling. So yeah,
there's a 18-minute YouTube video, Mick Foley destroying his body for entertainment. Highly recommend. Honestly, if you just look at like his list of injuries, there's literally like websites that are just track them. It's insane. Yeah. Ears ripped off, teeth out, broken everything. The dude was like one of those backyard wrestlers, you know, that's just getting, you know, one of those fluorescent light tubes just smashed over the back. He was down for anything. So fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's a great pick. That is a great pick. That was going to be my next pick if it lasted to me. So I like where your head's at there. My next pick, I'm going to take a guy for one reason and one reason only. I'm taking Triple H, and it's because he's the guy I associate with the DX. And the amount of DXs thrown my way in middle school are in the thousands, at least. So yeah, I didn't even know what I was doing because I was a middle school kid. I didn't really follow wrestling a ton, but god damn it was I hooked by that. So all these kids can have their 6'7s all they want. We were DXing back in the day. So
that was the original, man. Just doing it
back when we were men.
Yeah, back when men were men.
Back when we were telling our teachers to suck it when they were looking. Yeah. So anyway, Triple H. Any of those guys really, but I'll take Triple H.
Another legend. Another legend added to the mix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that he's been just such a mainstay in wrestling.
He runs it now. Yeah.
Yeah. He runs it. He married Stephanie. Like all of those things. Like he is wrestling personified over the last 25 to 30 years, just through all of it. Plus, one of the sickest. I think it might have inspired a little bit of LeBron's throw up in the air. Just him chugging a bottle of water and then spitting it in the air with just absolute drenched hair. All of that.
He's always sweating.
Cool walk-in entrance.
Always sweating.
Sweaty man.
Sweaty man. Yep. No, great pick there. And that's kind of the royalty, right? We're putting it, other than Rikishi. I don't think people are putting Rikishi in the royalty category.
No, you had to pick him. I was taking him if you didn't.
Yep. All right, Drew, back to you. Lead off the bronze.
I would love to go with like a back in the day or like an all-star of like Hulk Hogan or Andre the Giant or anything like that, but it just wasn't my WWE or my wrestler era. I stopped, I think, watching wrestling probably in like 2016, 2017, and this guy was huge during that time, and he still is big, and he's gotten into acting a little bit more, but was the head of wrestling for a while. I'm taking Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns had an absolute wild run as the top of the World Wrestling Federation or whatever, WWE, whatever it's called. And he is a descendant of The Rock. They have some, I don't know if they're cousins or whatever, but he did a lot of good things for wrestling, and I think that he needs to be chosen on this list. Thus, I am choosing him.
Very cool. Very cool. Respect the pick.
Yeah. Yeah, good pick. I've heard of him, so that's good. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys have watched as much Roman Reigns, but yeah,
that's past what I do. Stop paying much attention, but no, I mean I've heard of him, so that's good. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not poo-pooing your pick. I just don't know him, but and I'm just word vomiting right now. But anyway, okay, so I am gonna take, and again, the top 4, 5, 6 wrestlers are the guys that I really mainly had on my list. I am going to take a guy. I don't really know much about his wrestling career, but he has been in some movies and I really enjoy them. And he's very funny. Specifically, his part in MacGruber always makes me laugh. I'm taking The Big Show.
Yeah, there you go.
If you haven't seen MacGruber, you should watch it. It's one of the most underrated movies of all time. But anyway, I'm taking The Big Show because he was a very prominent wrestler, and I've seen him in movies that I like. So.
Yeah,
I don't know how that plays.
No, that plays perfectly fine.
Okay.
Big Show has been a mainstay for a long, long time, and you don't get to be 7'4" and just like absolutely be I wouldn't say he's always been a main headliner, but he's always been in that lineup of guys that have been there through the 90s and 2000s. So. Love the pick.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, super cool. I'm going to wrap it up for us with the bronze. And I'm going to take Shawn Michaels. I think that he is just one of those attitude type guys, just flopping around, flexing, posing, having the great walkout music. He just always made me laugh. I was between Shawn Michaels and Kane because Kane was my guy when I would play WWF or WWE, whatever the video game was on 64. But Shawn Michaels, the personality was big. It was a lot of fun. And that'll wrap us up for the podium list. So we'll get this.
Perfect, kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Sexy boy or whatever. It's like just way too flamboyant. But I'm going to take us into the closing thoughts. Drew, I'm going to kick it over to you. Nick will go to you, and I'll wrap it up, okay?
I don't have much. I think the biggest thing that I wanted to close with this week was, didn't really talk about it last week. Whatever's going on in college football right now is just needing to be stopped. I don't need every single, like, the Diego Pavia, whatever, everyone shitting on this college kid who is mad that he lost the Heisman, to ND's deference of playing in a bowl because they lost out on the playoff. Like, stop. College football, you need to stop giving me storylines, because the real football is going on Sundays. I don't need to see this Saturday shit. Bowl season is about having young kids have fun and enjoy themselves so I can bet on them and lose money. And it's starting to become a drama season that, like, I don't need to see. So, like, just cut it out. Done with it. Period.
You missed a pretty big storyline in the college football recently.
I know, Nick. I know. I'm just done with all of it. I don't want to see college football shit. Yeah. Okay. We get it.
Yeah.
Granted, that wasn't really like that. That was a domestic problem. That guy got problems.
No, a lot of great memes, though. A lot of great memes. I will say that a lot of me just vegetables laughing as like a family gets ripped apart. And like, oh, that's pretty funny. The Office. But such is life. I would
tell you what my favorite one was, but I don't want to elongate this.
Yeah, I know. It's probably best to avoid.
It's a podium list for next week, maybe.
Yeah, your favorite more memes. Oh, God. All right.
Okay. Yeah, my closing thoughts, pretty simple. Just the week before Christmas, so I'm excited. I only have 3 days of work left. I took off Friday, and I'll be off all of next week, which I'm very excited for. We haven't talked about this yet, but I assume we're going to have a different schedule for next week since Christmas is on Thursday. But we'll get back to you guys on that. But just be on the lookout for a unusual schedule next week, probably a Monday or a Tuesday show. But anyway. Yeah, just really looking forward to the season, the holiday season. We're finally here, and just gotta get through these next 3 days of work, and then I'll be off for pretty much the rest of the year, which rocks. So enjoy your holiday season, everybody. I guess this is the last real week we have before the end of the year, and some people may not even consider this a real week. Unfortunately, my company does, but this is my last real week of the year, so I'm very excited about that.
Try to coast a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe not. In case anyone at work is, I'm not coasting. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I've never coasted in my life. I actually don't know what that means. So.
No, yeah, nope. Nope. Awesome, Eric. Take it easy, man. Happy holidays to you too. My closing thoughts, just a couple really quick. I, for the first time yesterday, got this Black Buffalo, like dip alternative stuff. Mm. And zero nicotine, zero tobacco. And I've been doing it today. It's actually been pretty cool. I don't know how they did it with some kind of organic greenery or whatever, but I'm trying to get off the nicotine addiction. And this is kind of helping because I'm still kind of getting that oral fix. It still feels like something, and it's actually relaxing me, stimulating the mind to tricking it to a well enough spot. So, I don't know why I mentioned that, but I did. So there's that. But the real closing.
New sponsor. They don't even know it. You're going to clip that and send it to them, and they sponsor us.
Is that
boom?
Is that like a pouch or like a long cut or like
they have both actually?
This,
this one's a pouch. Another one I have is actual long cut, and the textures you wouldn't even know. that it's not, your grizzly or skull. It's really well done.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's been cool. Hopefully the long-term side effects of that aren't too negative. You never know. The devil you know versus the one you don't. Who knows? But I'm through the door, so there's no turning back.
Hey, Jay, I gotta tell you, and I was gonna mention this, but I think the one thing that helps me, I'm not off nicotine, but I haven't had a Zyn or anything like that in probably like 3 weeks. Yeah, just have another kid, dude.
Yeah,
do it again.
yeah.
Just do it again. I forget all the time to put one in.
Yeah.
I gotta sleep.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like,
The stress of having 3 kids will definitely not make you want to mainline nicotine.
Well,
in
you'll
your
get
system.
you'll get
Yeah, I was gonna say that would
eventually.
just be IV'd.
But in the weeks leading up, you'll feel like you're a success.
Yeah,
No.
you could also start doing heroin to get off of nicotine.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Good God. Now, congrats on that though, Drew. 3 weeks is pretty solid, man.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
I'll get
you're
back to
solid.
it in probably like 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would try not to. I mean, hey,
No
who knows?
no one's ever called Drew a quitter. That's for sure.
That's true. That's true. Don't stop now. No, but that'll do it. My other closing thoughts. We don't need to drag that along, but yeah, go nicotine or not or whatever. But that's gonna do it for us here at the Barely Qualified podcast. For Nick Lavris, Drew Bailey, I'm Jason Maxwell. Really looking forward to the next show as well, where we preview that Bears-Packers big time matchup. We'll have that out for you later this week. And as always, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you for listening to the Barely Qualified podcast. Like, comment, subscribe for more on a bi-weekly basis.